first thing I want to talk about is actually a great passage from a book called We're the Superior Man by David Data. And one of the things that he talks about in that book is how in intimate relationships or business relationships, most of the time, right, people will say that they want to be number one. They're like, yo, you know what? I want to be like the number one thing in your life. I want to actually focus and be your number one focus in life. Okay, like please, baby, please. I want to be your number one. I want to be your number one. Okay, but what he says in that book is that that's not the truth, man. What people really, really want, what your best business partner wants, all right, what your best intimate relationship or girl wants is for you to be on your purpose, is for you to be on your mission, is for you to go out and hunt like a fucking lion, all right, and bring back the prey. Okay, that's what they want. And how do you do that in a modern society? Okay, it's no longer you're out, right, going hunting for animals right now. All right, you're out actually marketing and creating sales in your own business to make money, right? And so today we're going deep into what is a business, right? What is marketing? What are we doing with sales? What is going on? Why is it providing products and services? We might go to Washington, D.C. and talk about other things, right? Like things that don't actually produce money, like nonprofits, right? Or state government kind of jobs, or like federal government kind of things that they do, or provide, like the police and stuff like that, right? Or you see stuff like maybe at the hospital or something like that. And those things are actually most of the time private, right? And so in America, right, let's go back. Let's actually go back to before there was all this, before there was like capitalism. And I fucking love capitalism, right? It's because you can go and actually change your status based on the value that you're providing to society. By the money that you're making, you can actually change your status. If you go back, right, to medieval times, you basically had peasants and you had the caste system. You had knights, you had kings, you had like monarchies basically, right? And so that's where we came from, but also you had something that ruled the world at that time, and it was religion. At the time, you actually had the Roman Catholic Church, and the Roman Catholic Church ruled everything, okay? Most of the time, everything was based on the religion, okay? Everything was based on the caste system, and you couldn't go up or down in the caste system at all. You either, if you were born a peasant, you would be a peasant your entire life. If you were born a knight, you would be a knight your entire life. If you were born a king, you would be a king your entire life, okay? But now things have changed. Why did things change, right? And this began during the Protestant Reformation. Yeah, bro, hell yeah. The Protestant Reformation. So what did that do actually for a spiritual sense when people were all following the Roman Catholic Church and actually had a sense of belongingness in the world? And now I know, like, you probably aren't religious, or if you are, that's fucking cool. But if you're not, it doesn't really matter. It's about taking the information from these different things like Bhagavad Gita or Tao Te Ching or the Bible or whatever, right? And using that information to enhance your life on the outside and on the inside, for you to have more happiness and for you to actually create more connections, whether that's business connections or intimate relationships or whatever the fuck you want to do with that, right? But it's using that information to enhance your life on the inside and on the outside. It's not about just like following something blindly, okay? I don't want to get too much in this video about groupthink, but I think that that's really, really important actually, and it's like super fun to talk about. Like groupthink, it's like people lumping together, not really thinking at all and just following what everybody else is doing. And so what are people even doing here? It's like, damn, I'm in Times Square right now. This is wild. I'm doing a video in Times Square. Wanted to do this for a really long time. I'm finally doing it. I just think it's really fun. But also, if you're distracted right now or kind of have like a lot going on where you're feeling like very, very overwhelmed, right? How do you like feel, how do you get rid of all of that overwhelmness? And so a lot of what I want to talk about is organizing, right? Prioritizing, eliminating all the distractions. I mean, look at this place, right? It's like distractions 101, right? Everything's like distracting you. Everything's trying to distract you and actually sell you something too. Like if you look at all of the different billboards and stuff like that. I just think it's really, really interesting as far as like what business goes into, and also how you're creating marketing and sales in the business, right? And so there's the operations, there's also the marketing, getting attention, okay? And then there's the actual sales process, and then there's a system. Any business that creates money is basically a money-making system, okay? And so when you're feeling a ton of pressure, what I say is always like, find a reason to laugh. Find a reason to fucking laugh, man. Because when you're changing the way that you're feeling on the inside, it actually makes you behave in a different way. And then you're actually able to act in a different way. And so if you're feeling pessimistic about the future, you're going to act and behave in that way. You're going to be like, the economy fucking sucks right now. Like, I can't find a job. Oh, I can't do this. And you go more into that, right? So what happens if you change that? What happens if you're like, you know what? I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to do. I'm very, very focused on what I need to do. I'm extremely organized in what I need to do. I prioritized everything that I have to do. I'm motivated. I'm extremely motivated to take actions and eliminate all distractions so that I'm actually only doing a few things, and life becomes extremely simple because you're doing like 6 to 9 things. You're only doing 6 to 9 things. You're eliminating everything else. You're not sitting on TikTok for hours. You're not just following what everybody else is doing, okay? You're not just not thinking for yourself, okay? You're actually doing the things that are going to bring you the joy that you want in your life, bring you the money that you want in your life. You're actually doing the things that are creating the relationships that you want in your life, whether that's business relationships, intimate relationships, whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to have a ton of friendships in your life all over the country, if you want to actually be so focused that you have more time because you got less done, or you got more done in less time, and you actually have the money now to travel the country all over, right? We're going to Nashville, going to Chicago, right? We're here in New York. We just got back from Miami. Now we traveled all over the West Coast, LA, Seattle, right? We're actually still got to hit up San Francisco. We'll do that next. We'll do Hawaii. It'll be super fun. All right, you guys will see all this. But it's like, how do you have the focus? How do you have the time to actually do all this? How do you eliminate everything that's not actually pushing you forward towards those things? How do you eliminate it? How do you get over all the pressure? How do you get over all these different things that are overwhelming you? All the different things, all the different billboards, all of the, it's like shiny object syndrome. Oh, I can go over here, this thing is shiny. Oh, over here, this thing is shiny. Oh, over here, this thing is shiny. It's all freaking shiny. What do I do? What do I do? I'm so confused. I'm so fucking confused. What do I even do? You know what you do? You laugh, man. You laugh. That's what you do. You find a way to laugh at it, okay? And you say, I could do this. You say, you know what? I'm not gonna be a victim of circumstance. You say, I'm gonna pick myself up. I'm gonna prioritize what I need to do. I'm gonna eliminate all distractions. I'm gonna get back on my purpose. I'm gonna get back on my mission, and I'm gonna bang this shit out, okay? I'm gonna bang this shit out in the greatest place that I could possibly find to talk about marketing, sales, and also all of the different things that we're talking about today as far as the different operations that go into a system. So most of the time when I talk to people about business, they're thinking about the operations aspect of the business. If you think about any product, let's think about a book, or let's think about a tripod, or let's think about, what kind of, a bicycle, or let's think about Coca-Cola. I love it. Coca-Cola and McDonald's, some of the best. Like, you see that shit so much, bro, that it's almost like you don't even recognize that they're even marketing to you. It's like part of life now. It's part of life. Coca-Cola, you see it everywhere. You go see a movie, you see the fucking huge Coca-Cola billboards, right? You go to a sporting event, you'll see a bunch of different Coca-Cola. You go freaking anywhere, they'll be like Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. You've seen the ad so many times that you believe that it's part of life. You believe that it's just part of what people do. It's like, whoa, that's what we do. That's what we're born. We're born to drink Coca-Cola. We're born to eat McDonald's, right? Why? Because the marketing, dude. Because they shove it in your face so much. They shove it in your face so much. And is that bad? Is that bad? No, it's not bad. You know why? Because you can learn from it. You can learn from it. Why are they shoving it in your face so much? Why do they spend billions of dollars every year to shove it in your face? Why? So that you know about it, so that it's a purple cow, so that it stands out, so that you're seeing like all of the different black and white cows. You're seeing another black and white cow, you're seeing another black and white cow, and then all of a sudden you see a purple cow. You're like, what the fuck is that shit? You see that fucking purple cow? Did anybody see that purple cow? And so most of the time, when advertisers are trying to get to you, okay, they're probably doing it through your phone nowadays. They no longer are using ads like this. But let's talk about marketing. All right, let's talk about all the different ways that you can target a niche, okay? Target a group that you're trying to reach. Target an audience, okay? And actually reach them with different things. It could be like shoes. It could be fashion, okay? It could be like a bicycle. If you're trying to sell a bicycle, you can look at the operations aspect of actually creating and manufacturing the bicycle. But does that actually matter? Does that actually matter? All right? Does the operations actually matter? Most of the time, you're probably working for a job if you're working for a job, or if you're not a leader right now, okay? If you're a leader in your industry, or you're a business owner, or you're a CEO, or you're working at a business and working in leadership, or maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, you know what? I'm not a leader yet, but you know what? I'm aspiring to be a future leader of my industry, or a future leader of the business, or a future leader for whatever you're passionate about. And so you got to get back into what is my passion, what is my purpose, what is my mission in life. And that needs to be your backbone, right? That needs to be like what you're mostly focused on. It can't be like anything else, or it's almost like, you know, I remember, I think my mentor always talked about this, how it's almost like you're getting caught up in the creation rather than the creator, okay? If you're doing what your purpose is in life, and you could have many, like basically you could pick many skills to mastery, right? Or many lanes or paths to master a certain skill. We talked about it in our last video, and I talked about it today a little bit, how everything is dark, right? Everything is kind of dark. And so the light of your consciousness, the light of your focus is what you need, right? In order to actually uncover what the heck is happening there. So if you're learning something new, like a new program, let's say, on a computer, maybe you're working at a corporate job, or maybe you're learning leadership, man. Maybe it's actually you connecting better with your team. And so that's what you're learning. There's great books about leadership, and I'll kind of touch base about that. I talked about linchpin today. We talked about purple cow. We talked about all marketers are liars or tell stories. And there's actually a great passage in that book about how you tell a story with a business, right? And how you tell a story with a business most of the time, it's going to be by you making sense, by it makes sense. There's like a passage in it that actually takes place in New York, and it's like, there's like an older lady, and she had a boutique, right? And there was a boutique, and she just like sold antiques or something, right? But there's people flying from all over the world to go to her antique shop. And you're like, why? Why the heck wouldn't they just go to an antique shop like in their local town? Why not just go locally for your antiques, right? But it's like the story that she told with the building, the story that she told when you walked into the building, it all aligned, it all made sense. You get what I'm saying? It all made sense to what she was trying to do and what that message that she was trying to provide with the actual marketing that she was doing, right? With that specific thing that she was doing, which was selling antiques, for an example. But you can sell anything, right? You can talk about, so today, again, last time we talked about all of the inside, but what I want to talk more about too is also your focus, your attention today, all right? And how you can actually triple your focus, okay? How you can get so focused that you eliminate all distractions, okay? So you have nothing that's distracting you. You have nothing that you're doing that is not pushing you forward, and you're simplifying your life, okay? So you're getting very simple. You're getting very focused on what you need to do, and you're prioritizing, basically eliminating distractions. You're prioritizing, organizing, making lists, okay, planning what you're going to do, and then getting extremely motivated, extremely focused, and taking action on those things. And so you're getting accountability, possibly. If you're not getting accountability, I do suggest you actually click the link below and actually go and sign up so that we can do, actually, there's a ton of stuff going on, but I want to talk about other shit right now. So I'll save that for the end. But here's the thing. The things that I want to talk to you about today are marketing, sales, operations, finance, and economics, and how before there was like a caste system basically. So you had a caste system and you could only go up or down. You actually couldn't go up or down. And so during the Protestant Reformation, what they actually did was you no longer had to go to church to pray, right? So you no longer had to go to church to pray. You can now pray at your house. You could like sit next to your bed and pray to God. You no longer had to go to church, right? And so I think that that's like really interesting, but that's what began to happen where people now were at home more, right? They didn't have to go to church. They didn't follow. The Roman Catholic Church is no longer kind of like, it doesn't have the grasp on you that it had thousands of years ago, right? When there was a caste system. So now we have basically a money-making system. We have a capitalistic society that we live in. I think that that's wonderful because what we're doing on the outside is providing products and services for each other. And so you need to stand out, you need to have a sales system, and you need to provide an actual operations for that product or service. What is the operations for the product or service? If you're thinking about manufacturing, or you're thinking about construction, or you're thinking about different industries, okay? You could talk about real estate, right? And so real estate is connected to like construction. I don't know a lot about real estate. And so one of the best investors of all time is Peter Lynch, right? So like Charlie Munger, or you'll have like Warren Buffett, right? They created Berkshire Hathaway. But one of my favorite investors is actually Peter Lynch. And I think it's just a great spot to talk about this because Wall Street, right? like it's in New York, right? So now this is what's changed in the last like 15 years too. You no longer have to go to fucking Wall Street to actually invest, right? You could actually invest from your phone now. I think that's really crazy. It's like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you couldn't really do that. Now you have like Robinhood, you have Coinbase, you have all these things that you can kind of like invest with. And I'm not saying to do that, all right? I'm not saying to invest any money. All I'm saying is that there are different products and services that are being provided to the society through a business, and you can, if you want, invest in those businesses, okay? And so that's what's actually kind of interesting. You have a lot of different public companies. It's something that Peter Lynch would say, right? One of the greatest investors of all time is that invest in what you know. This is what he would say. He would say invest in what you know. So many people are buying houses, okay? They're buying houses now. It's like you're getting to your late 20s, maybe mid 20s, maybe early 30s, and you're like, you know what? I want to buy a house because you know why? That's what everybody says to do. All of my friends are doing it. All my friends are getting married and they're buying houses. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to follow what everyone else is doing. I'm not saying that you don't have to do that, or if you want to do that, you can do that. There's no problem. I think that's amazing if you want to do that, and if you're doing that, I think it's freaking awesome, okay? But what I'm saying is that you don't have to invest in those things if you don't understand them, okay? If you're buying a house and you have no idea anything about the market, right? If you have no idea what it is to buy a house or know anything about the real estate market within that specific place, right? Or you know nothing about construction or what it goes into actually building a house or something like that, then it might not be the right thing for you to invest in. There are so many different things that you can invest in. McDonald's is a public company. I'm not saying that that's a good investment. You should learn about the intrinsic value of companies and how to calculate the intrinsic value of a company and how to look at a balance sheet, all right? And all of these different companies are public companies. And so if they're public companies, right, you're actually able to see all of the different things.
I love you.
No problem, man. Love you too. And so all of the different things that you can invest in are actually public companies. All of these companies that you can invest in have a balance sheet. You can go on like Yahoo Finance and see their balance sheet. You can actually see like how much money they're spending, how much debt they have. You can see how much cash in hand they have. You can see how much money they have in their assets. Actually looking at this is really interesting. If you can look at a balance sheet and know the growth rate and actually calculate the intrinsic value and the earnings per share that a company is creating each year, you can go and invest in a company. And so what I'm talking about here, right, which is just investing in different stocks, but what is a stock? If you ever learned finance, okay, you go into it and you think about it, what is that? Well, it's owning a part of a business. So if you think about it, and think about starting your own business and how hard and how much energy that takes to actually start a business in any industry, and it could be something that you're passionate about. It could be something that you really, really understand very deeply. It could be donuts, okay? You can start making donuts. I'm pretty sure I saw something the other day where it's like a dude started making cookies, all right? He started baking cookies, all right? And now he's a millionaire fucking selling cookies, okay? So you can do anything, bro. Any product, any service, okay? Any industry, it doesn't matter if you're passionate about it or you just understand it really, really well. Peter Lynch will say something like, I invested in Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts. I invested in Dunkin' Donuts when it was a public company. That's how I made my money. You know why? Because I understood how that worked. They make the coffee, they buy the coffee beans, they make the coffee, they buy the dough, they make the donuts, and then they sell the donuts. That's it. That's it, man. That's it. Then you market the actual thing. You put a billboard up in New York, okay? And people know about it, and then they go and buy the product, okay? It's really not that bad. Then what's the sales system there? You walk in and you buy the donuts. That's it. All right, you walk in and you buy the donut. Are you gonna buy it? Are you gonna buy the cookie online? Maybe you buy cookies online now, okay? Maybe you're on your phone. You're like, I'm gonna buy the cookie on my phone. But all right, so if you're gonna start a business, you're gonna make money in any possible way. And everybody, that's the main thing that we're doing on the outside, guys. If you are not having free time right now to have fun, okay? A lot of people are probably around, right? It's their time off. They're having fun. They're just like, you know what? I like to spend my money to have a lot of fun. And so that's what I'm gonna do with that's what I'm gonna do with my money. I'm just gonna have a lot of fun. If I have free time, I'm just gonna have a lot of fun. All right? I'm just gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna dance around. I'm gonna go dancing. I'm gonna go dancing. I'm gonna go meet people. I'm gonna go skydiving. I'm gonna go to Six Flags. Spend some money. I'm gonna go to the beach. Right? That's fun. It's fun, right? You're just having fun, bro. You're having fun. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay? But what's the majority, right? What's the majority of your time being spent on? Mostly making money, dude. Mostly making money. Why? Because you're probably working at a business right now. You're probably 8 hours of your day or more. If you're ambitious, okay, if you're a business owner, if you're a leader in your industry, if you're a leader in your business, you're probably working more than that. You probably want more than just working 40 hours a week, right? You're probably working 80 hours a week, okay? You're probably working 100 hours a week. At least 70 hours, dude. At least 70 hours, right? Why? What? Dude, I was in a mastermind the other day, business mastermind. Dudes are like, I just want to be able to do nothing and just have all the money. Yeah, fuck, that's amazing, bro. Yeah, you're gonna do that. You're gonna definitely do that, bro. I wish you the best. I wish you the best. I really hope that you do that. But here's the thing. If you're gonna go click that link, you're actually gonna take a free call or whatever you're gonna do, right? Or get the digital program or whatever, okay? If you're gonna do the mentoring, this isn't going to be somebody who wants to do nothing, okay? If you want to do nothing and get money, do not go and click that link. Do not sign up for a call, all right? This isn't about doing nothing. This is about doing more. This is about actually getting focused and having so much energy that you're working 100 hours easily every week. Easily, okay? And you're actually having fun doing it. You're having fun while working 100 hours. You're having fun while working 100 hours, okay? How? Why? You know how? You know why? Because it's fucking awesome. You know why it's awesome? Because you're not distracted, bro. You're not distracted by every little thing. You're not just like, I want to do nothing and have fun all day and I'm going to get millions of dollars. Yay! Fuck no. Okay? Fuck no. That's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. If that happens, that's a fucking miracle, dude. You're Jesus if that happens. Okay? You're Jesus if that happened. If you're not going to put in the time, if you're not going to have the focus, if you're going to be distracted, if you're not going to read the fucking books that it requires for you to get the knowledge that you need to actually implement the things that you need to implement, if you're not going to read $100 million offers, if you're not going to read $100 million leads, then you're probably not. If you're not going to read Linchpin, if you're not going to read Purple Cow, if you're not going to go out and read any other freaking book, if you don't have the focus, if you don't have the energy to do that, then you're not going to, dude, at least don't come don't come and ask for my help about it. Because the only people that I'd be looking for is for people that are actually motivated and focused and actually want to put in a ton of work, actually want to put in a ton of work to actually get to their dream life, okay? To get to their peak happiness. Okay, to be able to have humor and laugh at everything all the time, or just to have fun and be able to actually work on what you actually love, or whatever the fuck it is, all right? Whatever your skill is that you're trying to master in life. And so it goes back to mastery, dude. In the book Mastery, right, by Robert Greene. This is one of the first books that I ever read that I really, really loved, okay? Before this, I would read the books like Frankenstein. Kind of liked Frankenstein, but wasn't really like the greatest. You know, like shit like Beowulf, you know, some British type novel. It wasn't really that fun, dude. It wasn't really that fun. But when I read Mastery, I was like, you know what? This is actually kind of fun. It's about mastering life skills, okay? And actually going 10,000 hours into your passion, or going 10,000 hours into a specific thing. And so you're actually putting the light of your focus and attention and consciousness on a specific activity, or a specific thing, or a specific person, okay? And you're getting to know that person, or you're getting to know that thing. Like, for example, let's say it's like a program on a computer, right? And so you have a program on a computer that you're trying to learn. It's a new program. Or let's say you're doing the Apple Vision Pro, okay? And so soon you won't have to go physically to Times Square. You could just like put on your Apple Vision Pro and, oh my God, I'm in Times Square. I'm in Apple Vision Pro now. I'm in Times Square. Right? And so you'll get targeted ads to your eyeballs, and it'll be freaking awesome, right? And so you have targeted ads to your eyeballs. It'll be freaking awesome, okay? So how did we get from the caste system? How did we get from actually following the Roman Catholic Church? I don't think it's good or bad. I just think it's just what happened, right? Where we came from, to the point where now all we're doing on the outside is providing products and services to each other, trying to get attention through different branding. So I remember I worked, one of my first sales jobs that I ever had was actually at a sunglass place, okay? So I would work at this mall selling sunglasses in my early 20s, right? And so what I learned from that job was really, really interesting, because they would sell a lot of designer brands, right? And so each designer brand would have like their own kind of style, right? And their own target audience that they would be trying to reach. Like Gucci, for example, would have their own target audience that they're trying to reach. Or Ray-Ban, right? They have their own target audience. Or Maui Jim. I think I saw an ad for Maui Jim back there, right? Maui Jim actually has the highest quality lens in the world, right? And so there's different things that they're doing to have a competitive edge in their specific niche, or they're in their specific market, and they're trying to reach a specific type of audience. If you look at Kate Spade or something like that, it's a designer brand, right? It's a more classy kind of designer brand. If you look at Fendi, it's a more modern kind of brand. If you're looking at like Hugo Boss, right? That's a bit more of like a classic kind of brand that they're trying to reach like higher quality kind of people maybe. If you're looking at like Ray-Ban, or you're looking at Polaroid or something like that, right? You're having a different type of person that's actually getting interested in those specific brands, all right? And so this is what I learned from that sales shop, right? Just a lot of different things about how branding works. And so back in the day, when you didn't have all these different brands, when you didn't have all of this stuff like coming at you, advertising to you, and trying to get you to buy something, okay? You had just the Roman Catholic Church, you had just the caste system, whatever you were born into. And so then capitalism started. And so there was somebody who had like a bunch of sheep, right? And they had sheep, and they would like sell the sheep or whatever, okay? And then that person realized, wait, I can sell sheep to everybody in the town, right? And if I sell sheep to everybody in the town, then I get more money. And as I get more money, right, then I actually go up in status. And so this began to happen, and now fast forward, right, 2024, and all of a sudden, now we have millions of different people trying to sell different things, working for a business, working for an organization, working for a money-making system. And if you're watching this, or if you're anybody, right? You're probably working at a business, unless you're retired, okay? And even if you're retired, dude, even if you're retired, it's like, you're probably going to be doing something, dude. You're going to be doing something. Maybe you actually own a business. Maybe you invested. And so going back to that, what is that? What is actually like buying a part share of a business, right? If you're going to start, what's easier? Starting your own business from scratch, buying part of another business that you already know, or buying the entire business, that's acquisition, right? Buying that whole business, or buying part of a little business. What's easier? Starting from scratch, buying an entire business, or buying a part of a business? Now let's say there is a local business in your town, all right, that's doing really well, and maybe they're private, maybe they're a public company, okay, like Starbucks or something, public company, Macy's or something. I don't know. I'm not saying that these are even good investments. I think like, or Disney's a public company, okay? And so what is their product that they offer? What is the service that they offer, right? And do you understand that service? Because if you're gonna go start your own business, your own money-making system, you can do that, right? You can make your own money-making system from scratch, or you can actually buy the entire business, right? So if you're like, let's say you wanna buy like a coffee shop, or you want to start your own coffee shop, okay? Now, you have to invest a ton of money for rent in the specific space, for the machines that you're going to use, if you understand that business. But it could be anything, dude. It could be anything. It could be building houses, let's say, or building a building, dude. Maybe you want to do commercial real estate, okay? Commercial real estate. And so you're actually building a business, and then you're going to rent it out to different people so that they can put their businesses there, so that people can walk into their businesses and buy a product or service. And look around, man, that's all we're doing. That is the main thing that human beings are focused on, is how do you make more money, or how do you get more time, right? How do you make more time to actually spend your money, or just spend your stuff having fun. So you're either having fun, or you're either making money, or that's about it, man. It's just free time, in my opinion, okay? That's all we're doing. It's all economics. It is all economics. And I think the sooner that you realize that, the better it is, okay? If you're in your early 20s or early 30s, or if you're 40 or 50, it doesn't matter, okay? You're either working for a business, providing a product or service to society through that business, or you're making your own money-making system. There really isn't a different choice. There really isn't a different choice. There's only those two choices that you have. You're either working for a business that's established and already has their marketing in place, already has their sales process in place, already has their operations in place, right? Or you're creating your own money-making system that needs marketing. And let's look at all the different ways that you can market a business or a product or a service, okay? One of the ways to market a product or service is by going into the specific target niche that you're trying to grab, okay? So maybe you do like people who are 25 to 30, right? Or maybe you condense it down to just men that are like struggling with this thing or whatever. Or maybe you're doing only girls or only women that are like interested in fashion, okay? That's your niche or whatever. And where do they hang out, basically? That's what you're thinking. You're like, where do they hang out? Where can I reach them? Where can I get their attention? And back in the day, if you think back in the day, before there was phones, okay, you would have a TV. You have a TV, and on the TV, they would show you different shows. They would entertain you with different things, and you would actually just like watch the TV, watch your favorite show, and in between your favorite show, they would have commercials, right? And so now you're watching a YouTube video, and maybe you get a commercial for an ad, right? You get a commercial for a product or for a service, right? And it's so cool. It's so cool. Most of the time, it's like you hate it, right? You hate the ad. You're like, I'm trying to get to my video. Skip the ad, skip the ad. I feel you, right? But why are people spending money on ad gen? Why are people spending money on AdSense, right? To actually put whatever they're trying to sell in front of you, right? It's so that you actually get exposed to whatever product or whatever offer or whatever service they're trying to provide. right? And so that's a lot of what's going on. It's just like, look around you, right? Look at all the billboards. They're all trying to like get your attention. They're all trying to tell you, hey, here's a product. Hey, here's the offer. Hey, here's my service that I'm trying to get you to buy, right? And so the economy is always flowing, right? And so you can say, yo, the economy is so bad right now. It's so hard to like find a job right now, man. You know, you could say that, but it's like nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed. The money is just moving around to different companies. The money's just moving around to different people. The economy is just like always flowing. There's always just new products, new services that get attention and people are talking about and people are actually like spending their money on. That's all it is. It's just going from here to over here. It's just moving around. It's not really like, oh, it's so bad. Oh, the economy is so bad. It's like, no, the money's always there, dude. The money's just always there. It's always just around you. It's just moving from place to place. It's moving from business to business. Maybe all the people spend their money on Blockbuster, for example, right? All the money was going to Blockbuster to rent the movies. Well, now it's all going to Netflix. Why? Because people are spending their money on subscribing to Netflix. That's the only difference. It's not that, oh, now I used to work for Blockbuster. Oh no, my life is ruined. My life is ruined. Blockbuster's gone. Ah, shit. Blockbuster's gone. No, okay. But in the last video, we talked about how what you're feeling on the inside, right, makes you behave in a certain way. And so you act in different ways based on the behavior and the feelings that you're feeling, the emotions that you're having on the inside. And so if you're feeling like pessimistic about the future, if you're feeling like, oh my God, I actually said that passage from the Bible, right? And Jesus was like, if you ask your father or you ask your family member, or if your son asks you for a fish, are you gonna give them a snake, right? And you would be like, no way, I would never do that. I would never give my son or family member or loved one a snake if they're asking for a fish, right? But that's the thing, it's like, when you ask life for something, when you ask God for something, when you ask whatever you want to call it, a higher purpose for something, right? Are you trusting and are you having faith basically that whatever you're asking for is going to come true? Or are you having faith, or are you believing that, are you being optimistic about whatever you ask for is actually coming true, right? And so if you're being optimistic about it, you're going to behave in a different way. You're going to behave almost as if you had that thing already, right? And so if you're being optimistic, you're basically changing the way that you think. You're changing the way that you behave, and those behavioral actions and changes are actually going to get you where you want to be, rather than feeling like pessimistic about it, feeling like, man, that's never going to happen, or feeling defeated, feeling like, man, you know, I just lost my job. I just lost the person that I love most, the person that I trusted the most. I actually lost that person, you know? And so you could be going through some grievances, man. And I understand that. We've all gone through grief. We've all gone through loss. And I get that. You know what I mean? It's sad. And you have to like go through it. But at the same time, right, if you're going through those things, you have to get back on your mission. You have to get back on your purpose. And that would be like the main thing. Here's another passage from Way of the Superior Man by David Data. He says that you want to live at your edge, that you want to push your edge. You want to be trying the best that you possibly can. And I want to connect this with one of my favorite movies of all time, all right? One of my favorite movies of all time is Eddie the Eagle, all right? Eddie the Eagle is the best movie ever. It's that and High School Musical. You know, those are the two, those are the two best movies of all time. All right, I'm just joking, but Eddie the Eagle is a great movie, okay? Eddie the Eagle is about a dude who wants to be in the Olympics. So he's like a young guy. He's like, my dream, it's like Santiago in The Alchemist, right? Santiago wants to go to the pyramids of Egypt. Everyone's like, how the fuck are you gonna get to the pyramids of Egypt? There's no way that's gonna happen, dude. And little by little, he sells his sheep, and then he goes and he gets closer to Egypt, and then he goes to Spain, and then he meets the Englishman, and then he meets the alchemist on the horse with the hawk, right? And so That's awesome, right? And then he finally gets to Egypt, and then he realizes that the treasure all along was back where he started his journey in the abandoned church. I think that's really cool. But in Eddie the Eagle, this guy wants to be an Olympian, all right? He wants to like go to the Olympics for ski jumping. And his parents and everybody around him is like, dude, that's not gonna happen. You're not an athlete, bro. You're not an athlete, dude. You're never gonna reach the Olympics. Like, people laugh at him and stuff. And there's one of my favorite quotes from that movie. It's probably my favorite quote of all time, where he's like trying his best, right? There's two quotes in that. And I'll share, I'll maybe not share because there's like copywriting, but it's like, I'll share it with you now, right? It's like Hugh Jackman is in that movie. And basically he's like coming off the jump, right? He's like skiing and he goes off the jump and he does like the meter or whatever, but it's not like the best in the world. It's not even close to the like Olympic level, okay? But it's the best that he could possibly do. And it's his personal best. And so the coach for the Olympic team is there and he's like, you're a disgrace to this sport. He turns to like Hugh Jackman, he's like, you're a disgrace to this sport. And Hugh Jackman yells at him and he's like, personal best, and we're a disgrace. I just think it's like the best quote ever, okay? So it's basically, if you're trying your best, if you're doing the best that you possibly can, if you're just pushing your edge to the limit of what you're capable of, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're doing your best, your personal best. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you're not the best in the world. It doesn't matter. You know what matters and what people can sense? That you're giving your all right? That's what people can sense. That you're doing the best that you possibly can, right? That's what people want to see. So it's not about just like faking your edge. It's not about saying, this is the best that I can do, but really you have more left in the tank. Really, you actually have more to give to the world. Really, you have more to give to your spouse. Really, you have more to give to your friend. Really, you have more to give to your business partnerships or to your business that you're working at now or to your clients, right? It's all about pushing your edge, doing the best that you possibly can. It doesn't matter if you're not the best in the world. It just matters that you are trying the best that you possibly can, okay? It's the best that you can, all right? And so how do you get from that island, bro? How do you get from that island of feeling pessimistic, of feeling angry, of feeling competitive, of feeling like, I want to be the best, it's not fair, blah, blah, blah. How do you get from feeling isolated? How do you get from feeling defeated, like your heart has just been ripped out and just fucking thrown on the ground and stepped on? How the fuck do you get out of that, okay? How do you get out of feeling that way, man? Again, all right, it's by eliminate distractions. Stay focused, okay? Focused. Eliminate all distractions. It's becoming really simple, okay? There's like 6 to 9 things that you're doing. There's 6 to 9 things that you're focused on. That's all you're focused on. You're prioritizing the different things that you have to do. And then you're being held accountable and you're getting motivated. You're getting extremely motivated. You're getting so much energy, okay? You're having so much energy. You just worked 12 hours. You worked 14 hours. You worked 16 hours, okay? And you still have energy. You just worked 100 hours this week and you still have energy. How? You know why? Because you're doing what you love, man. Because you're not trying super hard. Because you're not like, just like trying to get something. You're just giving. You're just doing the best that you possibly can. You're not judging yourself. You're not being like pressured. You're not being hidden and defeated by all the things that happen to you in your life, okay? And so imagine this. Imagine you have everything figured out. Imagine you're organized. Imagine that everything, you know exactly what to do. Imagine you know exactly what to do. You have everything listed. You have everything prioritized, okay? Imagine you're no longer focused on the wrong things. Imagine there's no distractions. Imagine all of these things around you are no longer distracting you. Imagine you're not like just getting bombarded by different ads and different things and jumping from here, jumping from there, jumping over here, watching like TikTok for 3 hours or some shit like that, and then your day is fucking gone. Imagine you're no longer distracted by all of these things. And imagine you're not overwhelmed anymore. Imagine you're not overwhelmed. You're not confused about everything that you have to do. Imagine you're having more and more pressure on you. Imagine you have 2 businesses, okay? Imagine you're working at 2 businesses. Imagine you have a 3rd business. Imagine all of that, right? But you're not feeling pressure, or you're laughing at the pressure, or you know exactly what to do to actually move forward, right? And then you're taking action towards those things. Imagine being held accountable. Imagine having somebody right there next to you, pushing you, actually kicking your ass, being like, get to it now, all right? You're gonna do it, you're gonna do the best that you can, and you're actually gonna shrink the amount of time that it gets to get there, and the quality of what you're doing is actually going to increase. It's going to increase. How is that possible, okay? If you wanna learn more, you gotta click that link, guys. You gotta go. And here's what's so crazy. There's a summer sale that I'm doing right now. Summer sale, okay? 50% off on a lot of the different things, but it's very limited. There's 3 spots basically, that's it. And listen to this, okay? I do not want you to sign up. I do not want you to get on a call. I do not want you to schedule, okay? If you're not somebody who's motivated, if you're not somebody who's a leader, okay? So if you're not a leader or aspiring to be a leader in your industry, or aspiring to be a management in your company right now, or owning your own business, or if you don't own your own business right now, I do not want you to go on there. I don't want somebody who's smoking weed, okay? If you're smoking weed all the time, maybe if you're doing a little, all right, whatever, guys. You're like, oh, I need to relax or something, okay. But if you're like smoking weed all the time, or doing nothing all the time, right? And you're like, oh, I just want everything. I want everything to come my way. You know, I want everything, and I don't want to do a thing. I just don't want to do anything all day, and I just want all the people to love me, and I just want people to pay me and throw money at me. If that's you, please don't sign up for the call, okay? But also, I'm doing a free gift, okay? So if you qualify, if you take the call and you qualify, I'll send you a free gift that's going to completely get you focused, all right? It's gonna triple your focus. And not only that, but not only are you not gonna be confused by all of the sirens, all right? You're not gonna be confused by all of the sirens and the pressure and all that stuff, okay? You're actually going to triple your focus by those different steps that I talked about today. And so that's the world that we live in. That's why I came out here to Times Square to talk about finance, economics, different aspects of business, how there's the operations, and how when I talk to most people, they're usually very focused on the operations of things. They're not understanding that there's a bigger picture there when it comes to marketing and actually putting a product or niching down or actually like getting specific on who you're trying to reach, or actually creating a magnificent, a wonderful product, a really, really great service, and going above and beyond for your client. So that's another thing, right? That's one of the best things that you could possibly do in your business or in the product or service that you're trying to provide to society, is by going above and beyond what you promise, okay? If you could go above and beyond and also enjoy yourself every step of the way, okay? Enjoy yourself as you're doing it. Enjoy yourself and have fun as you're actually getting shit done. I mean, how crazy is that? Can you believe that you're like not getting overwhelmed and you're not confused and you know exactly what to do, but you're actually having fun too? Like, that's crazy, right? Is that possible? Yes, it's totally possible. And you can do it too. But it's understanding how the world works and why you're doing those things. And it's not about not doing anything. I remember my mentor had a video when he moved to Hawaii, and he was in Hawaii living there for a long time, and he realized that I think he had made like $1 million in a launch or something like that, and then he'd moved to Hawaii, and he was just kind of chilling there for a long time, for like months or for a year. I remember this in a really, really old video, right, like years ago. Maybe if he watches this, he'll actually like know what I'm talking about. But he said that the main thing that he learned about motivation and about actually having all of the time in the world and having all the money in the world was that he was actually extremely miserable, dude. You become extremely isolated. Like, you know that saying, like, it's lonely at the top? Yeah, dude, I know. It can be fucking lonely, bro. So let's say you're like that guy, okay? He had made $1 million, moved to Hawaii. This is like a while ago too, so it actually, $1 million was a lot at the time, you know? And he wasn't doing anything all day. He just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill all day and do nothing. And he was miserable. Like, imagine that. Imagine realizing like, oh shit, the point of life is not to do nothing. Oh my God. The point of life is for you to be on your passion. The point of life is to you improving in your purpose. The point of life is for you to pick a skill that you want to be the best at and actually going after it and actually being the best that you possibly can at that skill. Maybe that's the point of life. You know what he said? The point of life is to be engaged. It's to be engaged in life. It's to be focused on what you're doing. It's to be improving in the skills that you want to master in your life. It's not about just like doing nothing. It's not about just having all the time in the world to do nothing and just to dance around. All right, unless that's your purpose. Maybe you want to be a dancer. Maybe that's your calling in life, to be a dancer. That's amazing, okay? That's amazing. I love the arts, you know, where Broadway's over here. It's wonderful. Yeah, people are dancing all the time, okay? Maybe that's your purpose, and so you go after that. And you want to say, you know what? I just want to dance my life away. I just want to dance my life away. Fuck it. I think that's great, all right? Maybe you want to dance your life away. But if that's not your purpose, maybe you want to align what your skill is that you want to master in your life with actually creating value for the society, actually creating value for your clients, okay? And actually being able to provide that at a high level, right? And getting really, really good at making money from your skill. Because if you're making money from your skill, you're gonna have more time to actually focus on that skill. And so for me, it's kind of like that. Like, that's the theory that I have for processing information. The theory that I have for processing information is that the whole world is kind of dark, all right? And so the whole world is dark. Every aspect of life is dark when you're born. And then you shine the light of your focus. You shine the light of your perception. You shine the light of your attention on whatever it is that you want to focus on. And you actually start to uncover what's actually happening there. So an example of this would be like a program. Maybe there's a new program at work, all right? Maybe they're using Monday.com to get organized. Maybe they're using just a new system, right? And so you need to actually focus on that system. And most of the time when you're learning something new, it can be frustrating. When you're learning something new, you're like, oh man, this is so freaking frustrating. You know, I can't learn it. I have to like focus on this. I don't want to freaking focus on this. All right. And so maybe you're getting mad because it's frustrating. But for me, it's like skateboarding. All right. I love to use the example of skateboarding. I've used this many times, but it's like, imagine you were bad at skateboarding and you were skateboarding. You would fall, right? And you would hurt yourself, and it would not be a lot of fun to be skateboarding. But let's say that's your path to mastery. Let's say skateboarding is your path to actually, like, that's your passion, that's your purpose, that's your mission in life, to be the best skateboarder in the world, to do tricks on a skateboard and get money actually doing that. Well, if you're good at it, if you put the time and attention into actually doing that thing and getting that skill and mastering that skill, you would feel really good, and you would actually be able to manifest a lot of those tricks into reality. And when you're able to manifest those tricks into reality, other people around you watching that skill or that skateboarding, they're like, oh my God, bro, you just did like a 360. That's so cool, bro. And again, it's not about you being the best. It's about you doing the best that you possibly can. I think that's one of the things. It's kind of funny. I remember when I was like in grade school, bro, I was super young. And I was about to like graduate from grade school. And one of the things that like the counselor taught and like the librarian was teaching at the time was that you got to do the best that you can. And so they asked me, they were like, are you gonna get all A's next year when you go to middle school? And I was like, I'm gonna do the best that I can. And they were like, yay! I remember that. I think that's great, right? That you're just like feeling great because you're doing the best that you possibly can, okay? So that's another aspect of it. It's just like pushing your edge, really, really not faking your edge, and really, really doing the best that you possibly can. That's the thing from Eddie the Eagle. At the end of the movie, right, there's like Eddie, and he finally made it to the Olympics, and he's like going up to the elevator, up to like where he's gonna go down, right, in the ski ramp, and then there's like the best in the world next to him, and they're going up in the elevator together, and the best in the world like looks at him, and he's like, you know, we're kind of the same, because we know that if we don't do the best that we can, we'll be really disappointed in ourselves, or something like that. You know what I mean? So I just think that that's a really cool message there, to push your edge and do your best. Also, getting back on your mission after something really, really bad happens and you're just like feeling like fucking horrible, man. We've all been there. We've all had horrible things happen, and it happens all the time. I'm not above this. Just because I talk about it or I try to help other people with it, it does not mean that I'm above it at all. It still happens to me too. But the thing is that I have skills, right, that I can use. I have tools in my arsenal, right, to actually get through that a lot faster and get back into it and actually deliver what I promised myself on. And so that's the best thing that you could possibly learn here. And I think it's what I think this community is really moving towards, which is actually doing what you say you're going to do and how good that makes you feel, okay? So it's like winner effect. I think there's a book about this. Have not read it, but I've been recommended many times. So if you've read it, you can comment below. Let me know what you got from winner effect. But basically, it's keeping your integrity, keeping the words for yourself. Word is the bird. And so, listen, so the best thing that you could do is keep your integrity, right? Is do what you say you're going to do, and do that to the best of your ability. And so if you do that, then you let go of the rest. There are so many things that you can't control. There are so many things that are above your control, and there's so many things that I'm not gonna be able to do, that I have no power whatsoever over, and I don't care about those things. I don't focus on those things. I only focus on what I can do. I focus on being motivated. I focus on clearing my distractions. I focus on my priorities of what I need to focus on. That's all that I focus on. That's all that I focus on. And so what are you gonna get when you click that link below and actually get on a call with me? We're gonna go through the different things that are confusing you, the different things that are overwhelming you, all of those things, and we're going to eliminate all the different distractions that you have in your life, all the things that are taking from you a lot more than they're giving back, or that they're not pushing towards the things that you have on your list to prioritize to actually get to whatever goal you want to do. Whether it's being happier, being more grounded, creating better business relationships, creating more intimate relationships, traveling the world, traveling the country, right? You'll be able to basically focus so much and eliminate so much out of your life and prioritize and have the motivation, have the actual focus, have the actual energy. You're gonna have way more energy. You're gonna triple your focus, triple your energy basically, and be so grounded because you're doing what you love. I would say, honestly, go after your passion, but if that's not something you're passionate about, you could still do something you hate, honestly, and still have a good time doing it, and still be really good at it, and actually lower the amount of time that it takes, okay, and get more done in less time. I think a lot of people are actually like, dude, how are you doing so much, right, in such a little time? And that's how I do it. It's because I'm not distracted, because I'm simplifying my life, and because I'm only focused on like 6 to 9 things. That is all that I'm doing. There's not really a lot that I'm doing, and so I'm not super overwhelmed. I'm not super confused. I'm not like, you know, just like going from place to place, not knowing what to do. It's like I eliminated the distractions, I prioritized, and now I'm taking action and motivating myself and having the energy to actually get those things checked the fuck off right away. Quick, and with a lot of quality to it. Extreme high class quality to it. I'm doing the best that I possibly can, and it doesn't matter if I'm not the best. I don't care. I'm doing the best that I possibly can. That's what I would want for you as well, okay? So how are you getting from that place? How are you getting from getting super overwhelmed super confused, super pessimistic, being like defeated in life, all right? Maybe you just got fired. Maybe you just got a divorce. Maybe you're just like really not doing well in life, okay? Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you've been isolated. After 2020, guys, come on. Like what happened after 2020, right? So many people didn't go out for 2 years that they became a bit isolated, a bit lonely, right? And so that's what I'm saying here. How do you get out of that? You got to envision, okay? One of the best books that I ever read, right before all of these things happened, and I got to travel all over the West Coast. I got to go to like Oregon and travel to all these fucking amazing, beautiful places. It was actually Man's Search for Meaning. I still remember this, okay? I was in Morristown. It's a town in New Jersey, okay? And I had lost everything, dude. I had lost everything. I don't want to get too far into it, dude. But here's the thing. I was sitting there and I was reading this book. And I remember sitting at a Burger King. Okay, you the king? Burger King. Okay, so I was sitting at a Burger King. And the Burger King's no longer there, guys. It's no longer there. But I was on my computer and I'm reading this book called Man's Search for Meaning. And Man's Search for Meaning is by Viktor Frankl. And he was a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust, right? And so during World War II, he was in the Holocaust. He was a Jew, and he was Jewish, and he was caught, right, by the Nazis, and he was put in a concentration camp, and he had to go through that horrific situation. And he said that the thesis of the book and the main thing that he learned was when everything got pulled apart from him, when everything was taken from him, when his family was taken away, when his clothes was taken away, when his profession was taken away, when everything was taken away from him and he just became a slave basically in a concentration camp, the number one thing that he still had was his ability to choose how he was going to react to that situation, okay? So you need to focus on what can you do. Don't focus on what you can't do. Don't focus on what you can't control. Focus on what you can do. What is it that you can do right now to move your life forward? And so that was the best message that I got from that book, was basically only focus on what I can do. Only focus on how I can feel, because that's the last thing, that's the last freedom that I have. And so when everything was taken away from me, and I understand what that's like, okay, how can you focus on what you can do? And so I remember sitting on my computer and being like, you know what, this is a new start. It's a new start. I'm not gonna see this as like the end of something. I'm gonna see it as a new beginning, okay? And so because it was a new beginning, I began to see all the different options that I had. I began to see all the different opportunities that I had. And I looked at the country, okay? I looked at the US. And I said, if I could live anywhere in the US, where would I wanna go? No, not New York. It was not New York, okay? Where do I wanna live? And so I looked and I said, you know, on the West Coast, never been there, I really wanna go there. It was my dream to go there. And I said, right in the middle, I don't know what town that is. And then I looked at a town in the middle of the West Coast. And in the next few months, I bought a ticket and I flew there. And I visited that town and I fucking fell in love. I fell in love with the nature. I fell in love with the Pacific Coast. I fell in love with the beaches, dude. I fell in love with like Hasita, bro. If you ever get to go there, I want to go back there. I definitely will go back there. I remember trying the Apple Vision Pro, and they take you to Trillium Lake, right? And I've been to Trillium Lake. I love that place. Beautiful, beautiful fucking place, right? And it's like you put it on and it feels like you're there. You're like looking around. Maybe your dream is Times Square. But like maybe you put it on and you're like, oh my God, I'm in Trillium Lake. This is so cool. And like they even put the rain and everything, and you're like hearing it and you're like, this is not the same. Where are all the people at? You know, I've been there. There's a bunch of people kayaking. This isn't real. You know? But I just think that's so funny, right? That you can like now travel. I mean, dude, this is gonna get so crazy. The next 10 years are gonna be insane. You know that artificial intelligence is coming. You know that rapid change is about to happen. And so how are you gonna stay grounded? How are you gonna stay grounded and not be overwhelmed by all of it? How are you gonna stay grounded and not be confused by all of the different changes that are about to occur, right? How are you gonna not get confused by when all of our children or our future generations are in a virtual reality headset, actually living their lives in a virtual reality? okay? How are you not gonna get distracted by this? How are you gonna be able to teach them and to leave things behind for them, to help them, to tell them, hey, life was never like this. There was a time before a cell phone. There was a time before when people like actually went up to each other, and if you wanted to communicate, you actually had to talk to that person. That existed, you know? It wasn't always like, life wasn't always social media. Life wasn't always billboards coming at you. And so let's talk really briefly right now about the different marketing that exists, right? How can you market yourself? Back in the day, there was TV. And so if you would watch TV, you would watch your favorite program, and in between, right, they would have commercials. And so you would still watch the Super Bowl. I freaking love the Super Bowl, right? I love the Super Bowl because I love the commercials. Look, I'm just not a sports guy. I know a lot of people love sports, and that's amazing. Maybe that's your path to mastery, okay? Maybe you want to master your skill of that sport, baseball, football, soccer, whatever it is. And even when you're watching your favorite sport, you're still going to get commercials. If you're watching soccer, they have Coca-Cola in the background, right? It's like a subliminal message, but it gets you, man. It gets you every time you walk in, and then it's like, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. Then you go and you buy the Coca-Cola. Or Starbucks, right? I freaking love coffee, man. I love coffee. Right? I just bought a center today for my car, and it's coffee. So I freaking love coffee, right? And so how do they market you to actually get that? Most of the time back in the day, when there was TV, they would do TV. But even before TV, right? They would do ads in magazines. They would find like magazines that the people, your target audience, would actually be like looking at. So you got to think about, where's the attention? Where's the focus now? Where are the eyeballs? Where are the eyeballs now? The eyeballs are online most of the time now, okay? So what are the different ways that you can actually reach your audience? These are the different ways, okay? You have billboards, right? When you're driving on the side of the road, you see a big billboard, and they're like marketing the service or product that they have to offer, which is fucking awesome, right? But that's one way to get their product or service in front of you, to get your attention on it, just like this, okay? Another way is through magazines, okay? And so you're watching, before TV, there would be magazines. You would like be looking at a magazine for fishermen. And so they wanted to reach fishermen with the new rod, right? The new fishing rod. And so you would put it on a magazine for fishermen. And so you'd be reading the magazine for fishermen, and then you would find, oh, here's like an ad for the best fishing rod in town, or the best fishing rod in the world. And then you would go and you buy that fishing rod, okay? That's just an example there. Then there would be TV. And so in TV, you would have the commercials, right, in between. And nowadays, you basically have, I don't know, how else could you really market? Think about this for yourself. How else do people get eyeballs on their products and service? Nowadays, it's usually through social media, right? It's through ads on Google. It's through ads on YouTube. It's through ads in Facebook. It's through ads, right, in different platforms that your attention is on. It's through like TikTok ads, right? And so that's how you get attention now on your product or service that you're trying to sell. That's how you do it now. And so I think that that's really interesting. And so that's why we're here in Times Square today, talking about all the different things of economics, and all the other thing too, it's like what I explained before as far as economics and finance goes, right? Invest in what you know. Don't invest in what you don't understand. That's something that Peter Lynch taught, right? It was like, look, he's like, I made my money in Dunkin' Donuts. I invested in Dunkin' Donuts. Why did I invest in Dunkin' Donuts? Because that's what I understood, okay? That's what he said. So that's what I would say to you as well. It's like, if you're going to invest your time, your energy, your money, invest in something that makes sense to you. Invest in something that you understand. You're not going to go and invest money in AI if that's not something that you understand, okay? That's just my experience, okay? I'm not saying for you to do this or not, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But what I'm saying is, don't invest in something that you don't understand. Don't go buy a house if you don't know anything about real estate, or you don't know anything about construction or anything like that. Honestly, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you just invest in a different business? And so what is a business, right? It's like a business is a product or service. It's a group of people that are working together. You have a team. And if you're a leader in your business, you probably want to help with engagement. You want to get your team engaged in what you're doing. You want to get your team passionate about what you're providing. And you want to do the best that you possibly can in providing that product or service to your clients, right? And you want to go above and beyond, because that's what keeps your clients coming. And so that's what you want to focus on. But also, what is a business? That's what it is. It's just a group of people providing a product or service. Most of the time, you think about the marketing. When you think about Coca-Cola, right, you think about the product. But do you think about the people that are working there? Do you think about the people in the offices, in the corporate office, actually doing the sales ad? Do you think about the people marketing? Do you think the people working together to actually create that system? Do you think about the workers in the manufacturing plant actually like bottling the product? Do you actually think about that? No? Well, that's usually what a business is though, right? It's not just the logo and like, it's not just McDonald's, open happy, or Coca-Cola, open happiness. Like, that's not what it is, right? The thing that it is the people that are there working. And so maybe you lost a client. Maybe you lost your best person on your team. Maybe you're a leader and you lost the best person on your team. That sucks. You know, that's like, damn, how am I gonna get this indispensable person, right? How am I gonna get a new person to replace this person? Man, this sucks. And so again, it would be eliminating the distractions. And if you're going to start your own business, what's easier? Starting your own business, buying a business that already exists and it's already doing well, or investing in part of a business? What is going to actually get you more ROI, return on investment? Most of the time, it's not going to be starting a business from scratch. If you want to, that's fine. I'm doing that. I think that's wonderful. I think it's super fun. I think it's challenging, and I think it makes you grow the most. So that's why I love it. But if you're also just buying a business, what's the difference between buying an entire bakery, let's say, for example, or buying a part of a bakery? And the funny thing is, some of the greatest companies in the world are public companies. Disney, Starbucks, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, these are public companies. Anybody can grab their phone, take out their phone, and go and buy Coca-Cola right now, right? You buy a share of Coca-Cola, you're a part owner in Coca-Cola. And then you can advertise Coca-Cola, and the more money that they make, the more money that you make. And so that's how basically everything on the outside works. Last video, we explained everything that works on the inside: your thoughts, your emotions, your sense perception, your awareness, your intuition, your biological drives, and we explained all that. And we got very, very deep into spirituality. And so today we explained very, very deep all of the different things that make up the outside, how people are usually just spending their time making money and surviving, right? Or having free time and having fun. Those are the things that most people on the outside are doing, and you have to balance the two, is what I would say. And so when you get on the program, it will basically be a balance of the two things. We balance you being grounded and actually understanding what a human being is and who you are specifically, as far as your emotions, as far as your thoughts, as far as being grounded, as far as your focus and attention, as far as your path to mastery, as far as the skills that you want to like completely learn in your life, okay? And then after you kind of like understand all that and are more grounded in yourself, are more focused on the things that you need to accomplish, then you use that to actually create results on the outside, whether that's being happier, right? Or that's building more business connections for yourself, or building more intimate relationships for yourself, or just being more focused. Those are the things, right? It's either money, happiness, more free time, getting more done in less time. And so that's what you're gonna get there, okay? But again, this is not for somebody that wants to do nothing and get a result. These are for highly focused, or people that want to be highly focused. But right now, you're overwhelmed. Right now, you're confused. Right now, you're being pessimistic. Right now, you're being competitive, and you're like, I need something, all right? And so if you want to get out of that, if you want to be more collaborative, if you want to just have a lot more fun, if you want to really enjoy yourself a lot more, if you really want to like give what you have to give to society, okay? This is how you're going to be able to focus and get a lot more done in less time. So that's all that I wanted to say today. Thank you for watching. Click the link. I'll see you guys on the other side, and I'll see you in the next video.